Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. We're at a remote location in south central Pennsylvania. This is a Kawasaki Lakota. I believe it's an '04, and it's been with friends and family since it's been new. And unfortunately it's developed this problem. Let me show you. Doesn't start. So just for symptoms, this problem started out as needing a really good battery. And then if you had a really good battery, you could pull start it. You couldn't use the electric starter. It just seems like it always needed full voltage if you wanted this thing to start. Now it's to the point, full battery, jump pack, whatever you put on it, it just will not fire up. As a matter of fact, it has one of those fancy Moose lithium ion batteries. You can see it turns over really nice, but it just will not start. Turns out the CDI went bad, I believe. So, where to get the CDI? First thing we did is we called around to various shops down here to see if we could get a CDI, and they wanted $700. We're like, no, we're not playing that one. Then we checked eBay, a used OEM one, because we want to keep this thing as original as possible, was $100. And then you get into the same problem. You got a 20-year-old CDI box. You know, the capacitors go bad as time wears on. So we didn't want to go with that. An OEM CDI box, and it didn't say how old it was. It was new, and they wanted close to $600 for it, so we weren't playing that. We ended up going with a knockoff CDI box. So basically this video is, can you put a knockoff CDI box in one of these all-terrain vehicles successfully and have it go? We bought the entire kit. It came with a coil because I wasn't quite sure what was wrong with that. That's the CDI box. That's the coil. Boy, they use a big coil for this beast. And it actually came with a spark plug. They forgot to stamp almost NDK on it. And I think this was $40, right? And you got everything. So that's what we're trying, right? If it's not the CDI box, I have a coil, I have a plug, though we already changed the plug and that didn't fix it. Well, looks like the CDI box is up under the nose cone here. I think you guys could see it under there. So, looks like I gotta take the rack and the rest of this stuff off. Front rack is off. Let's see, we loosen this up. Try not to break any wires. And this appears to be the CDI. Looks, we're going to try to get it out of there without destroying that grommet. Looks like a two-hander. And then hopefully it's plug and play, right? There's no surprises. Old one came out without too much trouble. Here's the new one, which is a tad smaller. You guys could see it kind of fits on the inside there. So it should slide right in. I'm going to leave this boot thing on. That'll keep it tight. Looks like they did the color coding exactly the same and the connectors are exactly the same. So we should hear this thing run in a second. Well, before we put it all back together again and discover there's something else wrong, choke. Wish me luck. Nice. So she runs. Everything is back in place here. It looks pretty good, right? Nothing's moved around, no hard angles on the wires, nothing rubbing against the steering shaft. So now it's just a matter of installing the 1400 screws. I'm kidding. It was only about a dozen nuts and bolts and all to put the nose cone back on it. You know, while we're here, why don't we spend just a couple of minutes to do some maintenance? If you turn the headlights on, here we go. So that's low, and we got nothing. That's high, and we got nothing. So I wonder if the filament is good. It's just a wiring issue here, or a socket issue. So, well, it's easy to get to it. Why don't we just take a look at this headlight too? So taking this apart, a little tricky. They use one of the bolts here to hold this in and to keep the assembly stable. Anyway, if you spin it off and take the bulb out, you could also have a broken light bulb, which kills things. I'm going to put this back in, but I'm going to shoot a couple of pictures with my cell phone camera, which means everywhere I go, when I see a motorcycle light bulbs, I'll be able to just buy it, right, and get it in here. I'll probably also order a couple on eBay. This one's obviously blown. That one probably isn't all that far behind, so we are going to want to get this replaced. You guys probably look at these. Oh, that's a Bubba, and it goes in every motorcycle in the world, so you should be able to just get it at Napa. But anyway, let me document this, put this back together again, and life will be good. Turns out you can buy them from Amazon. God, they're cheap enough. $1.14 for the standard one, and the LED versions are $12. You get a pair, so $6 each. That's easy. Time for a quick ride. Plenty of gas. Plenty of oil. Let's go. My GoPro stayed home, so we're going to have to do this one-handed. You gotta love it when they come back to life. This hasn't been running a long time, so it might take a few minutes to pull gas. We've been riding this thing around for a lot of the day. It's all nice and warmed up, right? Ran plenty of gas to it. Then I cleaned the carburetor, changed the spark plug, did a couple of other maintenance things. And unfortunately, it doesn't appear as if that new CDI completely fixed it. Let me show you. Hear how it breaks up? It's really pretty good when it has a load on it, but hear how it kind of stumbles. I think that's ignition. This isn't really the greatest spot to be driving with one hand and end up killing some fruit trees. Let me get back around and I'll show you again on the climb. As the RPMs come up, it starts breaking up. Now the problem, this is supposedly a good quality CDI made in China, you know, wired out properly and all that other wonderful stuff, right? I mean, it was plug and play, so that wasn't too much of an issue. But the issue is, it's not working right. And if you go and you buy another Chinese one, why would it be any better than this one? So my mission was to get this thing back to life, and it appears as if I succeeded. in that mission, but the thing still isn't right. Hear it? So it's not bad if it's got a load on it. It's just when the RPM come up, it starts that breakup. See what I mean? The more we've used it, it's gotten a little better. The gasoline isn't that old. It's got a full tank. The tank was closed up properly. This is Pennsylvania gasoline. I think it's a little better than the stuff in New York. So, I don't know. I don't quite know what to make of it. I mean, the good news, it's running, and it could do some of the things it's meant to do. The bad news is it isn't quite running right. And once again, it does put me in a bit of an awkward, because the last thing I want to do is put a, 20, 25-year-old CDI in it out of a used machine. And I don't want to put a $700, $800, $500, $600, $700, $800 CDI in it, because the all-terrain vehicle isn't worth much more than that. So I don't know. I think I got to do some research. Maybe I could get a Spark CDI reasonable or something like that. Anyway, I'm going to end this video here. And by the way, I can mess around with the choke and it still does that. So it went from running fine to not running, replaced the CDI, and now it's doing this. Replaced the plug. Once again, we built the carburetor, did all the proper things. So I'm thinking back to CDI. Anyway, I need you guys to keep your feet down, your heads up. I want you all to get out and enjoy each and every day. Sometimes you fix things and they don't completely get fixed. And I gotta tell you, for a all-terrain vehicle shop, this would be quite the tragedy. Because now you bought one CDI, you're buying another CDI, you got your repair time in on the unit. It's just ugly. Feet down, heads up, get out and enjoy each and every day. Take care now. Bye.